Well, we made it through the transfer window. Now let's see if we can make it through the Champions League. Fingers crossed. So here it is, guys. The Champions League episode 13. I'm chasing Lamely, by the way, of Passport to Poland. We are in the Champions League. And let's go through all the stuff you've missed. The friendly schedule has continued. We're only about a week on from where we were originally. Um, just won a league containing Ghent, Austria, Vienna, and Hajduk Split. So that's pretty good. That means there's some players who are already fit and ready to go. A lot of these teams we've played, I think, are actually in European competition, which is always good. If I can remember how to find out the European competition information for them. Sure, all of these, they either are or have been. You expect Austria Vienna to be in a European competition, wouldn't you? They're in the Champions League, so they're Champions League opposition as well. And Split, you'd assume, are one of the biggest teams in Croatia, so they must be Europe. They go Europa League, English properly. Cluj are usually in or thereabouts one of the European competitions. There we go, Europa League 2. Ludogorets again, Bulgaria, one of the bigger teams. They're Champions League. So we're playing Champions League competition. I don't think Wolfsburg are ACR. They're not. But playing high level competition, really high level competition, which is good for us to get players fit and ready. And we're actually beating them with teams that are not necessarily full strength, which is good. In terms of transfers of what's come in, because you guys are going to want to know who's come in, because you always need to know who's come in. Still a few players who might be on the way in. Since the last episode, I have brought in quite a few free transfers. I won't go through all of them because you will get to meet a few of them who will get game time at some point. Among them, we've had Lagi Ramanzani, Burundian player, ex-Manchester United youth team player. He's going to be on the fringes of the squad. He's not in contention yet, but I've got a feeling he's going to be a player who breaks through this season. So keep an eye out for him. Nico Williams, the Liverpool youngster on loan, the Welshman. He is probably second or third choice at right back at the moment, which is actually alright. He will probably get in. He can also play up the wing as well if we need him. So he's going to be in and around the first team squad. He'll be a guy you get to know. Jordi Lucci's I brought in just to have a look at because he was free to loan, so extra squad depth. He doesn't need registration, also a bonus. Central defender, so we'll see what happens with him. Who else looks like they're probably going to play? This guy, Ghassan Ahadmi, the Moroccan striker, comes in from Norwich. He is effectively our second best out-and-out striker. Kotovic and Talmar can play on the wings or up front, so they will probably get some game time as well, but I would expect to see Ahadmi play a little bit of football. Who else has come in that might make appearances? I think Dalver Esanovic may be a guy who we see more of as well, the Bosnian player, also from Liverpool. Again, I expect him to develop better than he looks like he will there. So a few players have come in. On the outs, we've lost a few players. So Fredson has gone out on loan. Emil Coelho, who was a striker, an attacking midfielder, we brought in an Argentine. I think he came in last year. Ex-LA Galaxy player, never really broke into the first team. Thought he'd do better than he did. He's gone out on loan to Trobbery from the first division, so the division below us. So he's going to go have a season on loan, see what it turns into. Damien Gasca, unfortunately, has left us for £750,000. He's gone to join Leeds, as you can see on your screen right now. Yeah, he's it wasn't necessarily the best deal I've ever done. I probably could have got $1 million for him if I'd really pushed. But the deal, it does contain a whole bunch of sell-on fees and things, so we should hopefully see a return from him. If he can have a good couple of seasons for Leeds, we should see a return. And Breno Cayetano, who was a right-back I brought in last season, is back up to the backups. Very much a third, fourth choice player. He's gone to Pogon Siedlice. I can never pronounce this, but we'll call him Pogon. They're in the division below us. They went up from the second division last season, so they're on the rise. But they offered money. He wasn't going to get in the team. I thought I'd take it, so that's how that went. In terms of the transfers coming in, there's still a few players. We're looking at Guargis and Arche coming in on loan from Brighton. I'm not sure which of those I'll bring in. Maybe both of them. We'll see how that goes. Harrison Neal, Michael Saunders, and this guy Jacob Stalarczyk, the goalkeeper. I still need some defenders in. I'm having a bit of trouble with the transfer budget. I've got 500,000 there. It won't let me move anything else into the wage budget, which is very annoying because currently on trial, I've got some really good players. Let's take the filter off the players who are available for this game. There are some really good players here who are on trial right now, and that's eventually going to show up. Eventually. Come on, we can do it. There we go. So I've got like Carlos Sanchez on loan, the Colombian on trial. Sorry, the Colombian central midfielder can also play in defence and would be one of our better defenders. He's in from West Ham, the former Espanyol player. Very good for this level. He'd be outstanding to have. Cameron Borthwick-Jackson, the ex-Manchester United youngster, who's been away on loan everywhere. A left back, a lot of potential. I'd love to bring him in, but as things stand, I'll show you now. We can't find the budget for him. Like, he wants £5 a week. I can offer him £250, and if I can just switch some of that about, I'd be okay. Josh Cullen as well, another ex-West Ham youngster who could do a job for us straight into midfield. Unfortunately, right now I can't find the money for him. Matty Folds from Everton, exactly the same thing. He's a guy I'd like to bring in to have that extra potential. Luke Garbutt's here. Charlie Daniels is here. Benny Ashley Seal, Ethan Hamilton, Josh Grant. I'd like to bring those guys in. It's very little I can do. Even some of these guys, they'd only be squad players. They'd be players to develop, but there's some good players who are on loan. I almost got Leighton Baines to come in on trial too. I'm not particularly desperate for a new left back, despite appearances. They just keep appearing, so I keep offering them trials. But yeah, that's generally the score of things as they go. We do have some money in the bank still. We've got 3.2 million in the bank, and that's only going to go up with the Champions League, which is why it's very important that we play Hapoel Be'er Sheva right now, which is the first leg of the Champions League, our first foray. We're going to hope we can do something here. I already picked the team. It's largely familiar. Kuszak's still in goal. It's going to be his last season at the club. He's declining. It will be his last season at the club. We have a keeper, Kaiser, who is ready to fill in for him. I'm hoping some of these youngsters will start to develop and be ready to replace him. Dankowski starts at right back, but he may not be here long. His contract's running out, and there's been a lot of interest in him. I think Leeds have been sniffing around. I'm trying to get £1 million for him. If I can get £1 million for him, he will go and be replaced from somewhere within the depth. Israel Puerto, again wanted by Legia and Lugo, plays in central defence with Sean Raggett, who is a new boy. The guy came in from, I think, Norwich. Yep, 26 years old. Good central defender, good old-fashioned central defender, good in the air. Hopefully we can develop him a little bit more, get a bit more pace out of him, but he'll be there. Stiglitz starts at left back. Longstaff and Joe Ledley start in the middle. I've got other options than Ledley, but I felt like it was unfair to him, having dragged us to the Champions League as captain, to drop him for the first Champions League game. Lebambo Masonda starts on the right wing because obviously we lost Mason Bennett. We've lost Gasco, who can also play on the right wing. Samiek Talar is the next guy in line for the throne, who does have slightly more potential, so those two will probably rotate until I figure out what I'm doing with them over the course of the rest of the season. Slattery starts in the attacking midfield role, replacing Gasca, Placheta and Wright up top. On the bench, Nico Williams, Halovnia, Racic, Finson, Lishas, Samiek Talar and Kotovitz are the guys waiting in the wings. So, let's see what we can do with this team. Squad number's got to be given to 5 players in the squad. That's interesting. Akira Wright has lost his squad number from last season. I don't know what squad number he had last season. This feels continuity erroring. 25. Go for 25. You can have number 11 because you're a winger. You are nominally a striker that can play everywhere, so you get that one. You can have number 12. And Sean Raggett, I guess, gets number 6. That was nice and straightforward. I'm very, very finicky about who I give what shirts to. By the way, I don't think I mention it in videos enough when I give people numbers, but I do I like to have my numbering system. For example, a striker gets 25 because Zola. Um, a winger who can play up top tends to get number 17 because of a guy called Danny Invincible that used to play for Swindon. Look him up, kids. World class footballer. Also, his name was Danny Invincible. What's not to love? Um, yeah, centre half always gets number 6. That kind of thing. The 69 shirt goes to my third choice keeper, not just because it's funny, but because it's the same way either way up, and he falls over more than everyone else. There's a logic to everything I do. It's not just a hat stand. Anyway, into the game. We need to actually get a win here. Do I feel our ambitions? It's really a pointless time to ask me that. Their fears his departure could result in serious harm done to the atmosphere. We need to figure that out. A little by way of surprise, we're slight favourites. And Kushak's lack of fitness, he can last a full match. He's a goalkeeper. They stand around for 80 minutes of the game. I'm pretty sure he'll be fine. So let's see what we can do. In terms of the Hapoel Be'er Sheva team, by the way, I don't know many Israeli footballers, but the only guy in their squad I recognise was Ben Saha, who used to play for Chelsea and QPR. If any of you were playing FM08, he was highly rated. Like, he was going to be a worldie. It didn't quite work out. Masonda gets himself an early goal, though. First goal of the season, first goal in the Champions League. Lubambo Masonda has come through and decided to make himself a hero for us. I made a wee tweak to the system because I couldn't work out why our run of form was going so badly. It was because I changed a couple of positional instructions to fit players rather than using players in the positions I had. So I went back and I tweaked, so we've got an inverted winger in Placheta and an inside forward in Masonda playing around Slattery now. And we've gone back to the defensive central midfielder and the deep-lying playmaker in central mid. Because I need to try and recapture whatever it was that we lost when I changed those things to suit the players. Longstaff with a big ball up top. Kiero Wright's on his way through. He's picked up a yellow. That's always a concern this early in the season. But it's okay. Paulinho's on the left wing. I don't think that's the ex-Tottenham Paulinho. I'd be very surprised, but we'll have a look when we get a chance. Cross in. Someone defend it. Hasselbank. There's a Hasselbank. Hold on a cotton-picking second. What is happening? Nigel Hasselbank? Okay, this just got serious. 1 second. Nigel Hasselbank, the ex-Hamilton, St Johnston, St Mirren, Go Ahead, PSV. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank's cousin, I think. It's either his cousin or his brother or something. Yeah, he's in their team. Who else is in their team? Just while we're doing this, is this the real Paulinho? It is not the real Paulinho. I mean, it's a real Paulinho, but it's not the real Paulinho. I just got weirdly curious. I didn't see any of these guys when I was scouting them before. And Josu, I recognise him from somewhere too. Ex-Portuguese international, but I can't work out when he won those caps. Presumably when he was at Porto. Alright, there are some good players in this squad. We might be in more trouble than I thought we could be. But that's okay. We'll make it work. Corner comes in. Melikson, Puerto gets it clear, and they're going to get themselves a second corner, which is absolutely fine, as long as we keep that one out as well. Okay, interesting. Things have got interesting. Melikson again with a cross. Ledley heads it clear, and Hasselbank's going to be there to track it back, but hopefully someone's going to actually close him down and take the ball off him. If he's not, Shedek, Josu, Kelchins. There's a lot of Dutch players and Portuguese players and things in this team. Yeah, I forgot what I was saying. Ultimately, we just need to make sure we get back on track and start building some form up again. So I've gone back to the tactical solution we had when we were in the best form of the season. Dankowski's tiring. He wasn't fully fit when the game started, but Nico Williams should be more than adequate to get in there and fill in. Let's do a get creative shout, because people are looking apprehensive, and that seems to inspire someone occasionally. Kiero Wright's inspired. That's probably helpful. I'm actually fine with Wright playing as a pressing forward. It opens up more space for the wingers too. Dankowski with the free kick. Raggett almost got himself a first goal for the club on his debut, but didn't quite make it. And that's fine. We'll accept that. We'll accept people as they come. Hand him to the assistant, see if we can affect anything. We can't affect anything. Svoboda, by the way, he may not care anymore because he's currently out of contract and won't sign another one. So I'm expecting him to leave at any given moment. And I have no idea who I want to replace him because there's no one in the club ranks who looks like they can do it. Let's take off Dankowski while we're being told to. I can't afford to bring in anyone decent because I can only spend, again, £250 a week on wages, and the board won't increase that. So we could be without an assistant manager for a while if things carry on the way they're going. We'll keep you posted. If I can find a player who's in their 30s in the squad who wants to be an assistant manager, they might get the job. But in the meantime, we just need to hold this up defensively. Taha with the ball forward. Someone head it clear. Anyone head it clear. We need to stop Hasselman getting on the ball because we know he's good. Josu is also good. We'd like to keep him off the ball. He's just put it wide. That is kind of that, I guess. Yeah, things are looking okay. While this lockdown's on the way, I've decided we're going to go to a Monday to Friday schedule. You've probably already figured that out because there have been no videos at the weekend. So I can do other stuff at the weekend. There's maybe a new FM series I want to do. There is also a City Skyline thing I want to do, and I want to do some Motorsport Manager stuff while I'm just trapped in this tiny room that you can see behind me. We're going Rakic on for Raggett because Raggett's not quite fit, and Slattery is not performing the way I'd hope. So we're going to bring on Lachars there. What is Lachar's preferred anything? Alright, we'll keep him as a playmaker. I don't think I need two playmakers. That's always been a thing I've wondered about. Let's make him an attacking midfielder. See if that affects anything. We're growing to like Lachars. He's looking like a player that could develop into a strong component of this team going forward. He's pretty good all the way across that attacking midfield line, which is definitely beneficial for long-term planning. Stiglitz has got a throw in. I'm going to do a demand more because I'd like a second goal, especially if they're about to score one, which looks very, very likely. As Srihan makes a sprint down the right-hand side. Two guys there, neither of them were watching him. Puerto, can we get it clear to Masonda? We can. Lachars now, he's got the ball. He's heard me talking about him. Masonda's running forward. What can we get here? Ball through to right? No. Ball out to Placheta. Placheta, by the way, is in a position to do some big things here. Placheta whips it in. Akierev Wright with a header. Akierev Wright gets himself a goal. First goal of the season. Proving I was right to sign him permanently from Bayern Munich. And that's a 2-0 lead. A 2-0 home lead. They've not got an away goal as well, which is always beneficial because this is a two-legged contest. I think I said in the last video, Piast, who went down last season but played in the Champions League, got as far as the third qualifying round, and their team wasn't good enough to stay up. A team that was good enough to win that division last year maybe has a chance of getting to the groups. Maybe. We've headed it clear though. Placheta, we just need to defend now. That's kind of going to be the key. Placheta now, he's going to run forward. We can make a 3-0 lead going into the second leg. We'll be sitting pretty. Placheta's not on his best side. Doesn't really matter though. If he can get the ball across to Akira, he's having a shot instead. That's gone out for a corner because their goalkeeper apparently needed to step back to pick the ball up. Who knows? Let's whip this one in. Joe Ledley's going to take the corner. What can he do with it? Ball in. He's usually aiming for right. He didn't. He aimed for Masonda this time. Ball back in. Rakic. No, not quite. That should be pretty much the end of the game, I think. You'd think that would be the end of the game. It is the end of the game. It's all over. We are the winners. 2-0. 56% of this is possession. We've been all over them. Masonda gets himself a Man of the Match award. That's good all round. That's a good performance all round. I'm quite pleased with that. So, yeah, things looking okay going out through that first game in the Champions League first qualifying round. Champions Cup champions first. Okay. Yeah, we're going to see how this goes. Raggett made his debut. We'll say good things to the press about things. We're very happy with that win. His strike gave you an early lead. If it was a good day for the side, yeah. Raggett was definitely solid in his debut, and Masonda is an outstanding footballer and a privilege to work with. We'll give him the praise he deserves. And then, we're going to come back on the other side for the second game. So let's play the second leg and see what we can do here. 2-0 lead coming in. There's been a couple little transfers that have happened just while you've not been watching. So let's go through those quick, just very quickly. We've brought in Peter Guagis, Swedish. I'm guessing not a youth international, weirdly. But he is a right winger, so he will provide some really vital cover for us on that right hand side. If we have a look, he's our third best allegedly, but he's actually better at the inside winger role or the inside forward role on that than some of the guys ahead of him. So he may get some more football. Billy Arce, the left winger from Brighton, I mean, he will go into the team as soon as practically possible, I think, which is a shame for Placheta. But we've got to improve what we can. I am actually, while I think about it, going to teach him to play as an inside forward on the right hand side, because, you know, it just seems smart, doesn't it? Just seems smart to teach him that role. So we're going to do that. Harrison Neal has come in, the ex-Sheffield United defensive midfielder. I don't think he'll get there this season, but I think maybe give him a year, or he could be a part of this team. Big star, Michael Saunders, who is an attacking midfielder in the centre, ex-Southampton. Again, same thing. We're going to give him a little bit of development. I'm going to teach him how to play as a deep-lying playmaker, because I think we're reaching the end of Ledley King's reign in there. I'm also going to send him out as a development player and see what we can do. I don't think anyone went out this week. Loads of players went out this week, didn't they? Oh, maybe. Oh, I'm struggling to keep track. Okay, Toby Amole went out on loan. He's the guy we brought in from Arsenal last season. He's playing for Motor Volgograd, Motor Lubin in the second division. So he's gonna go and get some first team football. We'll probably see more of him. Stefan O'Connor was on the fringes of maybe getting in the squad this year, maybe being a main player, a mainstay for us. I don't know why it's not showing me the full list. There we go. So he's our 7th best centre half, but you know, our mileage may vary. But the fact I've managed to find him a loan to a team in the same division as us, where he'll probably get some football, because that's kind of where they're at, especially with the squad. I mean, that's their squad. Their squad's threadbare. You'd expect him to be a starting centre half for them. They must have more players than that. They do have more players than that. But you'd expect him to be a starting centre half for them. So actually, that's a really good deal for us, getting him some football in the same division as us. So we'll get to see just how good he is without having to take the risk of playing him ourselves. Michael Schmiegel, who is a striker / right winger who was never going to make our team, has gone to Krakow, and we got money for him, so that's always a winner. That's 15.5 grand. Harry Charsley has gone out on loan. You remember we brought him in last year from Everton, so he could be the cover for that attacking midfield central role. He's not quite got there yet. He's not quite developed yet. This is our 3rd best in the role, but there's some miles left in that clock. So he's gone up to Stomil, in the division below us. We'll see if he can develop too. Maybe he can come back fight for a place. Leonardo Garosnovoa has gone to Podbeskidze in the division below us for 5 grand, which is just good money for dead weight. Daniel Spin has gone to Seekirchen, back in his native Austria. He's a player I want to see develop. I think sending it on loan was the best move for him right now. Krzysztof Mashinsky was a guy who was in the squad when we first got here. We played him a few times. I think he was captain, or he was certainly heavily involved when we first got here. Was he not? Why did we just have him on the bench? Either way, he was here. He's not here anymore. He's gone to Brookbet Termalika, who are also in this division, but he's 33 years old. So it's very hard for me to care whether he gets in our team or not. It's very hard for me to care if he gets into their team or not. But, you know, at least he found himself a sideways move, not a downwards move. You know, small things. So we'll probably see him later in the season. Morgan Boyes has gone out on loan to Crawley. We brought him in earlier this season. He wasn't ready to play for us yet, so hopefully he will come back from Crawley ready to play. And these guys, they were already organised to go out. Johansson, Dolkau and Ingvarsson have all left the club. That's everything you've missed, bar the friendly competition in the middle that we didn't win. But we made some money off it, and we're currently 3.6 in the black. So that's a good sign for us. But what's important is we need to win this game. I need to make sure we've got 11 players and 7 on the bench, because I was fairly convinced we'd lost someone who made the team last time. I need to take Kotovitz off. Let's just filter out the players who can't play in this game. I need to put Kotovitz on off the bench, sorry, so we're going to have to put Yankovic in for Kotovitz. And that should balance that out nicely. It just means Talmar is effectively our striker on the bench, which is absolutely fine. Dankovsky, again, not fully match fit, but we'll see how that goes. I've found some money, but I can't use it to up his wages, because now he doesn't want to talk to me. So that could be interesting. No big changes today for them, I don't think. That's pretty much exactly the same team they had last time. We know Hasselbank, Josu, they're the guys to really be paying attention for too. And they've got everyone called Bitten in their team. Whatever, let's beat them again. Let's get ourselves into the next round of the Champions League. We've got a 2-0 cushion for those of you who may not have been paying attention in the last 30 seconds. A 2-0 cushion over Hapoel Be'er Sheva, which hopefully will be enough to get us through. 1 goal for sure will put us through, because they'd have to score 4. So let's get creative. Let's get that 4th goal of the tie. See what we can achieve here. A lot of apprehension going on. I'm not sure, actually, just a random fiddle. I don't think Slattery is quite okay being the advanced playmaker. I think he needs to be the attacking midfielder instead. I think he's probably more comfortable there. I think maybe having 2 playmakers is going to confuse things a little bit. Maybe we should change that too. We'll see how it goes. Goldberg has got the ball on the left hand side. And he gives it away. Goldberg's talents as a footballer are the same as his talents as a wrestler. Masonda over the top to Akiri right. And let's see what we can do here. It's straight through on goal. Can he score? Straight at the keeper. Absolutely shocking scenes. And yeah, we have to make some real choices now about whether or not we're going to try and push for a win. Let's encourage them. A little bit of encouragement just to see how things go. They've been frustrated by the encouragement. They're currently fired up, which is not ideal for us. Let's see if we can motivate them with a good team talk. We can. Svoboda has done... Every team talk might be his last. That's what really scares me. If he decides to just walk away, I've got no options. I have to start doing team talks. And I don't know how to do that. It'll be fine. Solid defensive performance. That's the best I can say for us so far, because we're creating absolutely nothing. I think I should make some moves that will change that, hopefully. So let's see. We've got Placheta. Placheta is not turned up, so apparently we're sending on Samiek Talmar. What can he do from there? Inverted winger, spot on. Right, Callum Slattery coming off for Lachas. What does Lachas do best there? He does that. Yeah, we'll use him as a shadow striker if we need to find a goal later on. And then I'm going to keep back a sub, because I don't know who's going to go up top, or if I'm going to have to take Dankovsky off or Ledley. We'll play that one by ear, I guess. That's probably going to be Dankovsky if anyone comes off, purely because I've got many more replacements that I feel comfortable starting a game for him than I have for Ledley. So let's do that now. Screw it. Let's send Nico Williams on. Give him 15 minutes and see if he can provide any inspiration. Let's give a shout. Let's push forward. Push forward, see if we can get ourselves a goal. They're frustrated again by being told to push forward. Just can't find a way to talk to this team right now, and that's not okay. So we'll have to see what we can do. And looks like that's pretty much going to be the game, boys. I think Manny Longstaff might have just got himself suspended. That's okay. It's a 0-0 draw, which means it's a 2-0 win. We're through to the next round. I don't know when we find out who we're playing next. Do we find out immediately? I've got a weird feeling this is one of those ones where you find out immediately who you play in the second round. So let's have a look. Any good results there for anyone? Alashka, where are they from? Armenia. So our Armenian team beat TNS. Lincoln from Gibraltar have won, Ludogorets have won, which is good for us because I believe I sent them a player on loan, did I not? Or did I sell them someone? Telltale if they've got a Polish player, wasn't it? Wasn't him. Was it him, Sverciuk? I'm convinced I sent them a player this season. Is it last season? No? Okay. Oh, we played them in a friendly. That's why I was confused. Oh, good times. But either way, good to know that we are through now there. We're going to play Sudova in the next round. We'll have a look at that in a second. We'll see who Sudova are, see how excited we should be. Let's send us through to the next round. We fancy our chances for sure. Sean Raggett was outstanding again. Luke Garbutt's been on trial for a couple of weeks. We're getting all on the same page. That's the best I can say. Sudova Marijampol, guys. They're from Lithuania. They are the champions of Lithuania, presumably. Anyone in their squad that we should be particularly worried about? I'm looking at nationalities first because that'll tell me more than names, I think. They've got a Brazilian, they've got a Bosnian, they've got a bunch of Croatians, an Austrian striker. Is he a good Austrian striker? He's not played for the national team, so we're going to assume he's not great. Who wants him? He just wanted to go back home. Well, that's going to be maybe next episode? What's that? It's just moved. So just moved the Super Cup. The Super Cup was going to be in the next episode. Don't do that to me. Okay, it's moved the Super Cup final. So the next episode we'll play Wisla Krakow in the first game of the season. We'll play Sudova in the first Champions League qualifying second round game, and then we'll play the Super Cup and the Champions Cup, and hopefully some profit. Profit is what's going to happen. In the meantime, guys, if you have enjoyed the video, please smash the like and subscribe buttons. Keep smashing them so we can win the Champions League this season. Subscribe to watch us win the Champions League this season. Social medias are below. Hit the socials. And yeah, until next time, guys, stay safe, stay indoors. Unless this is after the lockdown, then don't stay indoors. But for now, stay indoors. You know what I mean. And watch more great content. See you soon.